Let's start with your personal and academic backgrounds and what led you to the field of AI. Let's start with you.
Sure, yeah. So I started looking into AI actually in high school.
Wow.
I read this book called Gödel, Escher, and Bach. It's like this book that talks at a very high level about the connections between math and music and art. And that really got me super excited about AI. And I've been working on generative AI for 10 years at Stanford.
Wow.
With really smart students like Aditya and Volo. We made a number of important contributions in the space, like diffusion models, for example. And now we're, of course, super excited about applying diffusion models to text and code, and that's what Inception Labs is about.
That's great. So you're one of the OGs.
Yeah.
Let's move to Volo, right? Like, tell us about your background and why the foray into AI.
I came to the US to California to do my PhD. We all met in 2015 at Stanford. I became really excited about taking these methods and scaling them up to be, not only kind of an academic project, but something that could really move the field of generative AI.
That's great. Aditya, let's move to you.
So I did my undergraduate back in India, where I was born and raised. So I went to IIT Delhi. How I got interested in AI was through an assignment on building a game bot. I ended up applying for a PhD at Stanford. I worked in Stefano's lab. I was one of his early PhD students and was also glad to have Volo as my office mate.
I'm actually feeling nostalgic. I went to IIT Delhi in the late 80s, and that time speech recognition was in vogue. So my first introduction to AI CNN was in my undergrad project at IIT, and then I came for my PhD to Stanford, not unlike you guys. So it's a full circle back to AI. What was the aha moment that led you to figure out that, hey, there's an inspiration that this could happen for text also?
Just to give you some background, back in 2019, people were already looking at, generative AI techniques, and they were starting to get some pretty good results using something called generative adversarial networks. But that technology had some fundamental flaws, like these models are very hard to train, very hard to use. And so we started developing this idea of using a diffusion model. And we were very contrarian because everybody else was doing GANs. Everybody switched to diffusion for pretty much everything except text and code, right? We basically started training some initial text diffusion models that were actually able to generate reasonable text. We pushed harder, we trained bigger models, but that was the time I knew, okay, we have something
This
here.
can work.
This felt like 2019.
How would you describe the difference between traditional LLMs and diffusion models, especially applied to text?
So traditional LLMs are autoregressive. They function from a left to right fashion, just like humans write one word at a time. Diffusion, on the other hand, is a technology that allows you to generate tokens in parallel. If the history of computation is any witness, then parallel modes of algorithmic thinking often dominate sequential.
What led you to start Inception? Because you guys have storied careers, and where do you think this is going?
We had these amazing results in the lab. I was really excited about seeing how far we can push this. Quickly, you realize that it's not possible to do it in the lab. And so I knew that if I wanted to do it, I had to go out and raise some capital and actually build a team that could actually deliver on those engineering outcomes that we were trying to achieve.
I think it's really unique that you have an opportunity to have such an impact on the field of AI. Like, we're touching the most fundamental technology of the last couple of years, language models. We could literally change the definition of what is a language model or what do we call AI, completely rewrite the underlying algorithmic stack.
So how did you come up with the name Mercury and not some other planet or some other material? And what are the results you have achieved?
When you think of Mercury, you think about first and fast. And that's where we are headed. I think we are trying to revolutionize generative AI, and we have our first family of models which are optimized to be much faster, about 10x faster on average compared to the traditional technology. That's our vision with trying to really redefine what it means to have a technology that sets a new frontier for speed, quality, and cost.
You had a lot of choices. The whole world was chasing you. You did reference calls. You and I met on weekends. We had a lot of conversations. How did you pick us? And then how much of that stuff you heard from others is actually happening?
I remember that when we talked to you, you came in highly recommended. I think we immediately clicked. And so it just felt like, this guy understands what we're doing. This guy could be a really good partner. You've been extremely supportive throughout this process, both with advice, introductions. The whole Mayfield team has been amazing. It's kind of like having an extended team that is super experienced, and we just call and somebody's there to help us. It's just been really amazing. So Navin, I've always been curious, what made you choose to work with us?
Mayfield is a people-first firm. We believe in investing in great people because people make products, people innovate on technologies, they build companies. So that was our first bet, is on people. When you pitched me that you felt it was staged, I felt it was staged too with the claims, but then I have been through those revolutions and I realized, man, these people are genuine. If somebody can do it, right? These guys can do it. Having been involved in the tech industry for over 30 plus years, I have seen every tectonic shift that happens from PC to internet to mobile, cloud, and each of those forces was a 10x force. The reason I think AI is a 100x force, because for the first time, machines understand human language. So now what can be done is unimaginable. And together, AI will help change the way we work, live, and play. This is just the beginning. We're just doing sprints right now to practice. The real race is still to come.
Yeah, we're off to a good start at least.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. But now the real work starts.